Okay, so welcome to Cultivating Contentment, which is we're halfway through now this meditation series where we're taking a deep dive into the science of satisfaction, building new neural pathways and uncovering some simple home practices to savor the richness of our existing lives. And the inspiration behind this is that we're working on our baseline level of contentment. So what I was listening to something this morning. It's like we're weapons of massive consumption, and I quite like that. So we've kind of been bombarded with so much information and so much advertising, and we're very manipulated by big organisations often to be buying things, to be changing things. So I think it was around 100 years ago that it was initially called propaganda, and then I think it got changed to marketing to make it sound a bit nicer. But this idea that we used to be sold things, for example, like a coat would be sold on, this is going to last you for your lifetime, and these tights are going to really last you. And now we're sold we need a new coat every season, and to express ourselves and be artistic to the world, we need to be changing how we look and things like this. So it's different. This sort of gives us an opportunity to see the wood for the trees sometimes. So we're training ourselves a little bit differently. So rather than constantly seeking or avoiding sensations, finding new sources of happiness and avoiding unhappiness, we're bringing our attention to appreciating the simple joys of everyday life. We're establishing some baselines, and we're turning up the volume on the ordinary, so the things that we take for granted, basically, and taking time to see quite how extraordinary these things are, falling awake to our experiences instead of constantly needing to escape from ourselves. And the reality is that our brains are not wired for contentment or satisfaction, and that we're completely normal and human. So this idea of accepting ourselves as we are and being kind about it, often in the way that we are with others, it's being more tolerant of ourselves and our desires, and we don't have to give in to them. So we've been looking at 4 psychological components that increase levels of contentment, and they are increasing our boredom tolerance, practicing negativity bias, rumination, getting off that rumination cycle, and being aware of hedonic adaptation. So we've been exploring these over the last few sessions, and we're going to revise them again today. We're going to look at all 4 today. So I'm weaving these into the practice. So we're looking at rumination, negativity bias, boredom, and hedonic adaptation. So what I want you to do to begin with, before we step out of our prefrontal cortexes, is I want you to think of something that you want right now. So if you could get a piece of paper and just write that down, something you want, something that you're really thinking about. Don't be hard on yourself. If it's silly, it's silly. If it's a new hat, if it's another holiday, if it's a piece of equipment for the house, if it's and just something you want that you're thinking about and it's kind of niggling away at you, you'd really like it. Be as superficial as you like. Don't be hard on yourself. Something you want. And hopefully you've thought of something. And now I want you to think of 3 to 5 things that you wanted and you've got. So you can just look around. You can look around your room. I can I can I can see loads here. So 3 to 5 things that you wanted and you now have. Okay, and hopefully you've come up with some things. Now we're going to look at something a little bit more challenging. A relationship that you're struggling with, or maybe a past friend that you think about every so often. You're a bit sad, maybe that friendship's ended. That kind of, there's lack of closure around it, I suppose. Something that's niggling at you that you're like, oh, I wish I'd said that, or I didn't get the opportunity to say that, and this person has isn't talking to me anymore, or I'm not talking to them anymore, whatever. Something of a little niggly friendship, could be could be a family member. Being careful, but we're we're going to take care of ourselves within the meditation, so you don't need to worry too much. Okay, so that might have been easy, might have been challenging to come up with that person. And now I want you to think of 3 to 5 easy people, like really easy. You forget to text them, no problem. You don't see them for a year, no problem. You pick up where you've left off. All family members in this instance, you fall out, doesn't matter. You know it's going to be okay. And if people are a struggle, maybe living beings. So it could be your pet, could be some house plants, could be the woman in the shop who's always nice. Okay, so I'm just going to pause the recording here. If you need more time, then those of you practicing at home can. Okay, so as always, remembering to take great care of yourselves within the practice, and let's begin. Let's have some fun. So taking a moment to settle, arrive, and having that feeling of having taken your seat. You're welcome to do these practices lying down, but if you are sitting, having a sense of a graceful and dignified posture. So perhaps sort of pulling yourself up by the crown of your head. Not the forehead, because if we were pulling up ourselves by the forehead, we'd be tilting our neck back and shortening the space here at the back of the neck. And so your chin is just slightly tucked. Just having a sense of the points of contact that you're making with the earth, the pressure, perhaps a sense of being held and supported. Perhaps noticing the fabric of your clothes against your skin. The air against your skin. And then let's explore what's happening around the body. Is there any tension or tightening that you need to let go of? The eyes, the forehead, the jaw, the shoulders. And then narrowing your awareness to your breath, breathing in and breathing out. An invitation to extend the out breath. practicing this from time to time supports the body to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So practicing it here with an invitation to bring this within your day-to-day living. Giving yourselves these little breaks, these little opportunities to pause and recenter. Take care of yourself. And then returning your breath to its natural rhythm, as best you can, breathing through the nose. And just taking a moment to find your anchor for today's practice, so that point that you can return to when your mind's wandered and got lost in the stories. So it could be somewhere within the breath, it could be somewhere neutral within the body. Your left, a finger on your left hand, your thumb, the palm of your hand. Be following a breath for a cycle. That sort of moment to just collect ourselves before we return to the practice. As we practice this present moment awareness, these very specific and deliberate ways of supporting ourselves and taking care of our own health and well-being. We can't control the weather around us. Can't control the things that happen in our lives. Well, not all of them. But we can have some control over how we respond and how we react. This is one of the tools that we have. So finding that anchor that you can bring yourself to settle and soothe and collect yourself before returning. And then bringing your awareness back to the breath, breathing in and breathing out. And then expanding your awareness to include all of the body. And now an invitation to bring into your mind's eye that thing that you want, that object, that holiday, that fitness goal, that whatever, that thing that you're aspiring for, that you feel like you need, you want, that it would bring you some happiness if you got it. Now, I just want you to have a think about some of the emotions that are behind this. What's going on? Do you feel motivated? Do you feel excited? Does this give you something to strive for? Is there frustration? Would your life be easier if you had this object? Would you look prettier? Do you feel more confident? Would it impress others? And just exploring what emotions are behind this. Maybe it's a holiday and the time that you're going to have to yourself, the freedom. And once you've found a few emotions that are attached to this object that you want, this thing, this service, this moment, and I want you to drop into the body and explore what's happening here. So what's your body experience of this mental event that we've just had a play with? So you might want to do a quick body scan, checking in with your feet and your legs and your hips and your belly, your chest, your arms, your fingers, what's happening with your face. Just spending some time scanning around your body in whatever way you wish. It's your choice. You might be colouring yourself in. Might be some heaviness, some lightness, some colours, some movements, textures, sounds. Being interested and curious in what it is to be you in this moment, just as you are. And then bringing your awareness back to your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And then expanding your awareness in the breath to include all of your body. Breathing in and breathing out. What sensations are here? What textures, what colours, what shapes? Can you smell anything? What can you see with your eyes open or closed? What's here? What's behind your eyelids? What can you hear? The sounds from my space into yours, and the space within your room and further afield. Now let's step briefly back into that prefrontal cortex again and bring to your mind's eye that relationship that you're struggling with that causes you some discomfort. And then exploring what emotions are here, what's behind this sadness, disappointment, frustration, anger, regret. Can we just be with ourselves as we are and hold some space for this? Let's just spend a few more moments picking out those emotions that are attached to this story. And then moving into the space of the body. What do you notice here? Is there heaviness, lightness, tingling, movements? Has some tension or tightening crept into the body? The jaw, the forehead, the shoulders, that sort of bracing that the body moves into as a form of protection, as if this were a threat, a lion, a tiger, or a bear. Being with ourselves as we are without distractions. Exploring the body's experience of mental events rather than engaging in the story. This simple technique that can support us to step out of the rumination wheel. Okay, so what's happening in my body? What are my feet experience of this? My knees, my thighs, my waist, my heart, my stomach, my guts, my fingertips. Being interested and curious in our experiences, embodying them, whole and complete as you are, that you don't need to change or fix things. Simply pausing, dropping into the body offers us an opportunity to recenter, soothe, turn towards ourselves with compassion. And let's step back into our breath. So breathing in and breathing out, following the cycle of your breath, perhaps extending that out breath. And now we're going to move back to the prefrontal cortex and back to some objects, some experiences that we've had that we really wanted and we got them. So bringing those into your mind's eye, those experiences that you've had, those things that you've got now. And a beautiful pair of shoes, a fantastic holiday, a gorgeous meal that you had, the home that you're living in now. And again, this isn't an opportunity to beat yourself up. These are just thinking about these objects and how you wanted them and then you got them. Perhaps reigniting some of the pleasure. Maybe there's disappointment there. So exploring some of the emotional responses that you're having to them now, the indifference, maybe the annoyance that you take them for granted. Maybe the regret, a waste of money, or a waste of time. But just holding these 3 to 5 objects experience moments in your mind's eye. And then dropping into the space of the body. What do you notice? Your face, your shoulders, your chest, your belly, your legs, your fingertips. Being an impartial witness to yourself. Be curious. Shapes, colours, textures, movements. What's your body's story? And then narrowing your awareness to your breath, breathing in and breathing out. And then expanding your awareness from the breath to include all of your body. In an invitation to bring into your mind's eye those 3 to 5 easy people or easy living beings. They might be sat next to you or around you, or just bringing them to your mind's eye. Perhaps taking a moment to visualize them, to sense their presence. What is this mental event for you, actually? And now let's sift around for the emotions that comes up here. Ease, comfort, warmth, emotions are here. What are you feeling? Let's explore that within the body. What's here? These feelings that are felt. What is that? Where is it? Shapes, colours, movements. Scanning around your body from your head to your toes or your toes to your head. Shapes, colours, sensations, textures, movements. And then narrowing your awareness to your breath, breathing in and breathing out. Now I want you to open your eyes if they aren't open already. And I want you to stare at the wall, not at a picture, at the wall. So we're moving into the boredom element of the practice. course, remembering that my guidance is simply an invitation. You don't have to stare at the wall. Maybe you want to look at the pictures around, or make an inventory of what you can see and what you can't see. This is an opportunity to observe how our minds work, where they go, what they do, what they're saying. The breath is always there, with that neutral part of your body if it becomes unbearable. And then closing your eyes and bringing your awareness to your breath, breathing in and breathing out. And then an invitation to expand that awareness from the breath to include all of your body. That passeth all understanding, by Denise Levertov. And all so quiet, I don't know when it began. A gratitude had begun to sing in me. Was there some moment dividing song from no song? When does dewfall begin? When does night fold its arms over our hearts to cherish them? When is daybreak? So moving and stretching in whatever way your body would like you to move. We're going to move into taking tea together. Still got vervein, not buying anything. The shapes and colours and textures and movements. So I'm going to pause the recording here. For those of you practicing in your own time, an invitation to journal about your experience of that practice. So we brought in some rumination with the relationship, and also about the object that we're coveting. And there's an opportunity to see some of the positive sides that offers us, as well as the more negative experiences. Rumination does get does have a bad reputation, but it's a helpful thing that the brain has. It's just noticing when it becomes unhelpful. Then we had the boredom with staring at a wall. There's some scientific studies that have been done. Apparently it's good to do that for an hour from time to time, just stare at the wall to build that boredom tolerance. And for reference, we did 3 minutes. That may have felt a lot longer. Okay, so yeah, play and write and embrace your inner Virginia Woolf on that one. Pause here. Okay, so let's close. If anything did come up for you or comes out later from those practices, do reach out. But keep practicing all of these. So your home practices are just to keep on practicing. So the negativity bias, which we did with for each negative experience, you think of 3 to 5 positives to counterbalance it, to soothe, and then that tool becomes easier. Allow yourself to be bored. And if you are ruminating, you've got the negativity bias, but also it can be helpful. What do you need to learn from it, and park the rest. Okay, so let's close with our 3-part breathing space. So you can have your eyes open or closed. Bring your awareness to your body. Contact you're making with the earth. Clothes against your skin, air against your skin. And then narrow your awareness to your breath. Breathe in and breathe out through the nose if you can. And if you find it helpful, extend that out breath. And then expand your awareness from the breath to include all of your body. I'm just going to close with a little compassion moment, remembering that if we stop beating ourselves up, often we stop beating others up, metaphorically, of course. So place a hand on your heart and one on your belly, or envisaging this, visioning it, whatever the word is, you know what I mean. You don't have to do it, you can visualize it, that's it. May I be well. May I live with ease. May I be safe, and may I be kind to myself and to others. And then saying out loud to yourself or internally, may we all be well. May we all live with ease. May we be safe. And may we be kind to ourselves and to each other. And as best you can, taking this sense of connection and awareness into whatever you have left to do with your day. Have a great week. I will see you